Hey everyone, so welcome to my latest video slash live stream. This is going to be a little bit different than usual. Normally, if I do a live stream, we just casually talk about whether it's top 100 movie list that Sergey, Marv, and I are working on, or just hanging out. But this time around, Cobra Kai just ended, so I figured I would talk with my friend Sergey of SkynetGen, who both of us have a pretty good relationship, I would say, with Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, right? Like, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a pretty big fan of the Karate Kid films, right?
Well, I grew up with them, so I've always enjoyed them. And in fact, I revisited the first two last night, actually.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
been a very long time since I've seen them. So it felt like an appropriate time to go back and revisit it after the show.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
since the show does a lot of like connection with all the movies. So it's kind of rewarding to revisit the movies afterwards.
Especially, I feel like the third one, even at a young age, I never liked the third one, but I feel like the show retroactively made that third entry like somewhat watchable. Um, so I'll say this. I'll ask you in a second. For me, Cobra Kai, I still remember when I read the premise and I saw that it was, recontextualizing the villain's point of view and how, getting a little bit of insight on him and how, it's something that's morally gray because it's like, well, maybe Daniel LaRusso was in the wrong a little bit. Maybe he was. Like, that was a concept that I was like, oh, okay, let's see how this is. And I'll never forget getting a free trial to YouTube Red, I believe it's what it was called. And the first season, I really liked. I appreciated the moral grayness to it, whilst at the same time just really, having a lot of comedy that worked as well as the dynamics just felt effortless. And it was pretty good filmmaking too. But I don't know about you, but for me, once YouTube Red gave the reins to Netflix, it changed a lot. I think the biggest issue for me is that it really rinsed all of that morally, gray, morally ambiguousness to the characters, and it made it so that way it was black and white, where it's like, oh, you're on this side and you're on this side, and I'm going to flip flop from side to side. And I don't know if it was season 6, Sergey, or if it was season 5, but I remember we were talking about it over Messenger, and I remember I just flat out said it. I was like, Cobra Kai has pretty much turned into the Fast and Furious, but for TV.
It's
Better. It's
it's
better.
it's watchable at least.
Yes, it's
You can
definitely
have a
much
lot of
better.
fun with it. Yeah.
It's definitely much better, but it's like each season they add more and more people where it was like, oh, you used to be a bad guy, but now you're a good guy. And it's like, okay, and by the end of this, I just felt drained, especially since they broke season 6 into 3 parts.
Yeah, those
But
last 5 episodes weren't needed. But even so, it like also felt extremely rushed even with those 5 episodes.
yeah, so as you know, Game of Thrones season 8, the finale, I'm someone that actually liked it. But if people thought that was rushed, I can only imagine what they would think this finale was, because it was just like, really? It's just also how they ended it at a diner. I was just like, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I went to the movies today and I saw Paddington and Peru, and they showed
Oh,
the
okay.
trailer for the new Karate Kid, where they're combining the
Mhm.
Jaden Smith
Yeah.
universe and the of course what we saw with Cobra Kai. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, they're not going to have all these characters in this movie, so
They didn't bring back them in the show either,
yeah.
or the next Karate Kid, Hilary Swank.
Which was odd. I thought for sure at some point Hilary Swank was going to be in it, but I guess I guess maybe they weren't able to get a contract on Hilary Swank. I don't know, but I did think that was odd. But sorry, did you right away with Cobra Kai? Were you with it from the beginning, or did you come across it like on Netflix? Like, tell me a little bit.
I got into it really late. I think by the time I got into it, it was like 3 seasons deep. I think originally I saw like clips of it. They were heavily marketing it for YouTube Red, and
Yes.
to me, I was very skeptical. I don't like when they bring back like classic, like make spin-offs or any movies to classic work. I'm always thinking like, what are you doing? Like you're just
Yeah.
capitalizing for the monetary gain. So I wasn't really interested. But then just people kept talking about it, and then some of the people that I was hanging out with at the time, I was in Georgia. were like all about it and they were watching that. So I was like, all right, let me give it a chance. And I mean, I was instantly hooked on it. I mean, it's a very entertaining show, and then the drama that it spends really draws you in. Uh,
Agreed.
and even when it gets a little more sillier later on in the seasons, it's still very engaging to watch, even though you're rolling your eyes like half the
Yeah,
time.
like when they have all-out brawls in school.
It's like the whole world is like around karate. You're like, that is the law.
Yeah.
Like the movies didn't even do that.
No, they didn't. It
In
was like
fact,
a very
there's
niche.
not a whole lot of karate actually in the movies.
No, there isn't. In fact, that's one of the things I liked about the first two movies was that it had the Rocky formula.
Yeah,
Have a
it was
little bit of
directed
the
by
action
the
before.
Rocky director actually too.
Mm-hmm. That's why he was chosen for Karate Kid, because the Karate Kid, it wasn't original back then. It was something that it was taking the Rocky formula but putting it in the ring of martial arts, and it worked. It worked. It had a catchy soundtrack. It had a rising star. Just memorable montages. Is it a great movie? No, but it's a lot of fun. And the fact that a director and a creator were like, you know what, let's try to make that movie deeper by making a show that has these characters in these kind of situations where they have to make situations that maybe when they were younger they probably wouldn't have had to deal with. I don't know. It's fascinating, but that kind of got stripped away in the later seasons, and I don't know. It became a passive viewing experience for me, especially by season 6. Like I feel like season 6 was just very frustrating. I feel like a lot of characters that they focused on in like season 4 and 5 kind of got put in the sidelines, like someone like Hawk. Tori, I will say I liked her, but at the same time, I feel like even the last couple episodes, she had one really interesting thing that she did, but besides that, really didn't do much.
They were like running out of ideas of what to do with certain characters, and then they just kind of reset them and started again with them. It's like because they wanted to keep them around, like the Kreese
Yeah.
character. I feel like they ran out of what they wanted to do with him, and then they brought him back.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's be honest with how things ended with him. I don't think that was planned. In fact, I'm going to show if
Uh,
you guys haven't seen the show, if you're not caught up, you can get out of the live stream for a minute. I'm about to show a clip. Sergey actually gave me a warning. Well, actually, no. Sergey
I didn't want
said
to ruin it, but I wanted to mention it at least.
it was funny though because I remember you said something happens on a boat, and it's funny how it never gets mentioned again. And I at first questioned. I was like, wait, so something funny happens on a boat? And then you were like, no, it's just funny that they forgot about it. And I was like, okay. Then I'm watching the boat scene, and then at the very end, I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. I'm like, this is hilarious. And they did address it very, very, very briefly, like when he's at the grave site, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, just one person at the grave. Okay. I mean, I guess Tori wouldn't be there. I guess she wouldn't be there. But I'm going to show the clip. It's only 25 seconds. Might get copyright. Who knows? We'll see, guys. Let's play this. Oh wait, let me. So oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Deepwater Horizon happened.
I was gonna say, is this like a spinoff, like a tie-in? Oh my goodness, I could watch that on repeat. I have seen it several times.
But even before that happened, the whole fight sequence is like terribly edited because the two guys are like they're so aged they can't fight each other.
Yeah, which is funny though because I feel like Kreese a couple seasons ago he was pretty active, but then I guess maybe he just got even older. I don't know, but yeah,
I
it's
never
very
like paid attention to who actually knows karate in any of the movies or the show, of course. But just watching the first two movies, it seems like Johnny's more or less pretty good. Ralph Macchio, I've always had problems with him and is like, I don't know. It doesn't look like he knows karate. And still even in the show, I mean, he's a little bit better, but still a little too rigid for me. But
Yeah, he's always been the one that they're using to showcase how it's not really necessarily the moves, but the mentality as to how you can beat your opponents. So it's, for me, that like that works. But I do think that Johnny has always been the better one. I mean, if you think about it, even in the first movie, how Johnny lost was by a cheap shot. So it's like, yeah, Johnny probably still could beat him, honestly.
I mean, watching that first movie, I'm like, that's ridiculous that Daniel even won that match.
Oh yeah,
He barely trained. He trained for like 2 months. Then nobody really showed him how to do the crane technique. He kind of saw Miyagi doing it one time, and then he just practiced on his own.
yeah.
And then he gets a leg injury. First of all, he's never even actually had like hand-to-hand combat with anybody. He's just been doing wax on, wax off, and painting houses. And like, when have you actually trained to like actually know how to fight in the competition?
It's all about the manual labor. That's how if you do manual labor, you too can do karate.
Okay.
That's the moral of the story for the first one. And the second one is it's all about love. That's how you can win.
The second one, Daniel has nothing to do in that movie.
No, but I do have a soft spot for the second one. I love the song in it. Oh, what's it called?
Yeah, the score is really good, and
Yeah.
it's a visually like much better looking movie.
Yes.
It's a
They
better.
I think it's because I don't I'll have to check. I don't think it's the same director that did the first one, so I think that's why the visual style is different. But I will say I like the scene with the glass. You know how he does that move with the
Okay.
glass. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I do need to rewatch those. Oh yeah, it looks like they're on Netflix. Actually, no, John G. Avildsen, he actually directed the second one as well. Okay, never mind. He directed both. Maybe they had a different cinematographer.
Well, the second one, I'd say is like I'd go back to it only because of the show, because Chosen is in there, and
Yeah,
I guess the one little girl is in the show as well for a little bit.
briefly. Yeah,
Yeah, so like I said, the show improves the movies. And that's why I would come back to them.
and that's why it's kind of a shame that they didn't have the next Karate Kid Hillary Swank in it because I mean
I
that
mean, I have
movie
no memory of that movie, but I remember
it's not
she
good.
was at least physically better than Ralph Macchio in like the believability aspect of it. But I'll be revisiting it soon, so we'll see.
The third one is it's so ridiculous. Even at age, what was that, 14, 15? I knew I was like, this is a huge step down from the first and second. But at the same time, it was nice being able to watch it and the show now and say, this somehow improves on it. Like this somehow makes this villain that's so cartoonish, like deepen. And I also like the fact that they addressed that it seemed like he was on cocaine the entire time. He was like, "Yeah, I was on cocaine the entire time. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, you seemed like it." So I'm glad that you addressed the elephant in the room. But you couldn't really say that though in a PG movie. You couldn't be like, "Yeah, cocaine," but we could definitely tell that he was. But yeah, so I guess for me, season 6 was probably, I would say, the weakest. Like, I gave pretty much all the episodes like a 3 out of 5. And I know it might sound like I'm being really harsh with the show. So the fact that I even gave it a 3 out of 5, it's like, wait, but that's kind of high. But at the same time, the filmmaking, it's fine. The stunt work, I think, was pretty decent. I do enjoy the characters and the performances. But I do think the writing left a lot to be desired. And it did really feel like they were in circles with what they were doing. And there was a lot of repetition. And when they would add new things, it did feel very, going back to what I was saying, like Fast and Furious esque. And it just got more and more ridiculous. And that explosion scene I showed, it was just like, this feels straight out of like Fast and Furious 10. Like, what's the difference between this and Vin Diesel on a like riding down a dam? Especially since, by the way, that scene, Kreese was originally supposed to be alive after that. Like they filmed a scene of him being alive afterwards, and then last minute the director was like, "No, I don't think that would work." So yeah, so I'm
They,
just
they try to
saying,
kill him off so many times. They've just like, you know what? Let's just kill him.
no mercy. We'll give it to him.
And then they already tried killing like Silver off before, and they being
Yeah.
out, they showed up.
Well, Kreese, like the fact that he got out of prison Hannibal Lecter style, I just you and I always talk about believability, and I always say it's all about the rules that the world establishes of the show or film that we're watching. The show never established that Jello and ketchup has no smell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you don't establish that, there's no way I can believe that you're going to put Jello and ketchup on, and that nobody's going to, look at you as a doctor and say, you know what, that doesn't smell like blood. That smells like Jello and ketchup. It's like, nah, yeah, I think he's dead. All right, move him along. Like I was just like, really? Like at least Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter went all out. He actually put real blood and real skin, so it was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's believable because nobody's going to say, you know what, I think maybe underneath that there's actually a person underneath the skin and everything. So that I think was the worst finale for me. I think it was season 5, but this also was really bad. I think with the explosion, if he had actually survived, that would have been like, really?
Maybe we'll find out in the movie.
You know what? That'd be hilarious. Kreese, like at the very end, I'm here to initiate the Cobra Kai initiative. It's like, oh gosh, here we go. First with Avengers, now this. But what would you say? What are your overall thoughts of season 6? Like, are you positive, kind of mixed, negative? Like, what are your
It was
thoughts?
just like you said, running in circles at this point. They were just, I don't know. They should have ended it probably like at least 2 seasons ago. I was still having fun with it, but definitely the last season was just like kind of tiring at this point because they've run out of storylines. They don't really know what to do anymore. So I was still having fun with it, but at this point, it was the first 3 seasons I was kind of binge watching, so it was just like very entertaining. And then the last season, I was just watching because I had already watched it at this point. It's kind of like the situation I had with Silicon Valley, where I like enjoyed the first 3 seasons, and the only reason I continued was because I like the characters. And I'm just sticking to hang out with them, and that's really what it's here. The
And
storyline.
sometimes that's how it is with the show. Like even if it kind of goes off the rails a little bit, if you care about the characters enough, you'll be more than willing to give a couple other seasons, a try.
That's what I'm doing with Twin Peaks.
Hey, I told you, season 4 Peaks, those middle episodes, prayers.
Yeah, I'm on season 2, episode. I just finished episode 11. So I don't know.
What was it? I think it was episode 9 when they revealed
9. So I guess that's when they revealed the killer, but it was like they were already hinting at it way before, and I already was like, it's probably this guy.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I mean, how they executed though, I thought was really good. But it really does feel like an ending almost, where it's like you could have just ended here. But I will say, if you do decide to rewatch the show at some point, you can literally stop at once they reveal who killed Laura Palmer, and then you just watch the finale of that, and then it's like you won't have missed anything. Which is sad to say.
I have to sit through it the first viewing, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's little details, but actually, I shouldn't say there's little details. It's pretty much the studio gave a bunch of directors just notes on what to do, and David Lynch had nothing to do with it.
Well, it's funny because David Lynch is in the show now.
Yeah, he's in it. He had a terrible experience with ABC though, and it's interesting though because circling back to Cobra Kai, I do think it's kind of wild that YouTube TV, this small little network, if you will, they were able to do so much with those first couple seasons, and then it was like once Netflix took over, it pretty much had that like Netflix sheen to it, not only just visually, but also just production wise. Like it just felt kind of run of the mill, where it's like people are just going through the actions. And it's frustrating too because everybody gets along really well. Like I didn't realize it, but some of the actors and actresses are actually dating in real life, are engaged, because of the show, but they're given either such little screen time, or what screen time they're given just doesn't really do that much, or it does stuff that we've already established previously. So it's frustrating, but I think overall season 6 part C or whatever, I'll probably I'll say a soft 3 out of 5. What about you?
Yeah, probably 3 out of 5 though. Seems a little generous, but
yeah, especially because I'm probably not going to revisit it again.
No, I don't know if I would rewatch the show, maybe, but
maybe the first couple seasons.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's where it peaked. By the way, we do have some comments. The first one is one of our Patreons. Beamer Bro 1, no mercy. Yeah. It's such a great scene. Film Kid says, hey, Film Kid, it's good to hear from you. Ace Palettes is in the house. Good to hear from you, Ace. Film Kid, this is new. Yes. I was thinking about it, I'm like, I really don't have too much to say. So I'm like, Sergey watches the show, so I'm like, may as well just talk about it, both of us. Kill two birds with one stone. We haven't live streamed since almost 2 weeks ago.
And you want to do 100 movies on this live stream?
Oh, you know already. Marv is avoiding.
He's watching 2001: A Space Odyssey on loop right now. That's why he can't join us.
He actually is taking it literally. Like we talk about messaging, he's actually going to take 2001 days to watch. He's going to spend 30 seconds per day watching it. Just how it is, and he's going to watch it a special way too. Film Kid, Chad, are you still disappointed in Paddington Peru? And that's why you sound more tired. Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's it still has its charm, but it's not the first two movies.
I don't know. It's just so it was very weird watching it, and I think probably around the half-hour mark, I realized that I wasn't invested the way that I was in the first two, and I started, I don't want to say nitpicking, but I started noticing holes in the logic that the world was establishing in this movie, and that's something I didn't face in the first two, and I literally just saw the first two, and it's not even that the first two I'm nostalgic about it, because the first two I saw quite recently. It's just the fact that it doesn't feel quite as strong. And the story also has it where Paddington a lot of times is either in the background or he's just a very passive character. And then the first two, he is very active with everything that's going on. And I think that that's why in the first two, I'm just so engaged. I'm like, I want him to get out of jail. I want him to find a home in the first one. And this one, I'm like, what do I want him to do? Find his Aunt Lucy, but it's so clear as day as to who the villain is. Gee, I wonder. Like at least the second one, at least the second one, right away they let you know who the villain is, and they have a lot of fun with it. This one, they're kind of dancing around who the villain is, even though for us that have watched more than 5 movies, we know right away who the villain is. But also Antonio Banderas with what they did with him, it was just like, I like him, but
that was probably the one thing I like, though.
I like him. Here's my issue. How on God's green earth can we believe? You know what? I'm not going to talk about spoilers. We'll talk about it off screen. There's just some things that logically I was just frustrated about. But yes, so that's why I feel tired, because I went into it with low expectations, but I'm like, it's Paddington. I grew up with the show. I like the first 2 movies. I'll have a good time with it at least. But I saw it with my dad, and we both didn't talk about it at dinner time because we forgot about it. I literally was driving home, and I was like, oh yeah, we saw Paddington Peru. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about it. I'm like, because it left my memory. I was just like, oh, let me quickly log this on Letterboxd.
You didn't have Marmalade with you, and that's why.
I did. Hey, I thought that was going to go in a positive direction. Like maybe it would influence me to like me more via method viewing. By the way,
you gave the same grade I did.
Yes. I haven't read your review just yet, but I will. Can't Articulate says, hello. Can't Articulate, it's good to hear from you. Ace Splats only have 1 episode left of Leftovers Season 2. Oh, that's a great episode. Leftovers is great. Ace Palettes, Sergey, where are you on Mr. Robot? Yeah, Sergey, where are you?
I took a hiatus. I need to get back to it after I finish Twin Peaks.
Fair. That's fair. I'm very curious with how you're going to like Twin Peaks: The Return.
I'm finishing Veep and Twin Peaks, and then I'll head to Mr. Robot. I have only 10 episodes of Veep left.
Oh, nice. So you're towards the end of season 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicola and I, we finally finished Veep. What was it, last Sunday? Yeah, it was great. We binge watched the entire season 7 in one day, and I'm like, I love this show.
I think it's a good time to wrap it up.
Oh yeah. I think season 7, in my opinion, I think it's the strongest season with what they do.
Season 5, I think, maybe was the weakest,
Really,
or maybe it was season 6. At this point, since I'm binge watching, it's all like
kind of blending together.
blending in. But yeah, you said
I think
Jonah
that's
is
just
your favorite character.
I do like Jonah a lot.
Oh my
I don't
god,
know.
he's
It's tough,
fantastic.
man, because I like all the characters. I love their dynamics, but Jonah gets the most laughs out of me. Like there's there's one, there's one episode in season 7 where he needs to get some training. That's all I'm gonna say. And just some of the things that he does during the training session, I lost it. I started like just crying from laughter. It was just so funny.
Uh, I don't know. I find him such an unbearable character.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I think it's hilarious because
He's
he's unbearable.
he's unstable. He has like no filter either.
He's a stand-in for certain politicians. No joke. Like it, and let's just put it this way: there's a reason why he's so tall, just like another politician. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say. But yeah, Veep for me each season improves, and even on rewatch, that was kind of my experience where it was like season 1, you're still getting to know the characters, but I liked the structure, how each episode builds in terms of the story, which is also great in terms of binge watching. It's not just like each one's like a standalone episode. It's like no, it leads to the next episode. And I don't know. I just think season 7, especially with the finale, with what it led up to, I quite liked it. But I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. Also, A Split says, "How do you like both so far?" I guess he's asking about
Veep
Twin
and
Peaks and
Twin
Veep.
Peaks.
With Veep, you kind of said that you really
Veep,
like.
I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying it. That's why I've binge watched it as fast as I did. Twin Peaks, I definitely like the first season, particularly the first episode. I think that's been the greatest since, and then season 2 has been a step down. I feel like it wasn't as engaging, and at this point, we're kind of just like hanging out with people, and we're running out of things to actually do because the cases it's kind of solved at this point. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me ask you, in terms of Twin Peaks, what are the things that you like about it? Because this will kind of give me a gauge on if you
I
like.
like that it kept the mystery going, like and just like slowly revealing like little clues about the case. And then the characters were interesting. It's like just trying to learn more about each person, and their possible motives, because it's like unclear who really killed Laura Palmer for a while. I don't know. It was just an interesting mystery, I think, for me. And once that was solved, I don't know what there's left to do, and that's why I'm a little confused right now with season 2.
Okay, so I have no idea of how you like The Return because The Return is a mystery, but it's a mystery that the first time you're watching it, you're like, this feels repetitive. I don't understand what's happening half the time. I really don't know. And
Is there
then
more like supernatural stuff that comes up?
see, you haven't seen Inland Empire, but the best way of describing Twin Peaks: The Return is pretty much 18 hours of Inland Empire, where it is Lynch unfiltered. Um, it it's unlike anything on TV, man. And for better or for worse, like it might be something that you absolutely hate. I can totally understand that, or it might be something that you embrace, but it's definitely something that you've never seen before. I'll just put it to you that way. Uh, just go into it more so for like the vibes though at first, because there is story, but at first, if you're watching it by episode 6 or 7, you'll probably pick up on like the formula. But what it's actually doing is unveiling like clues that by the last couple episodes it makes sense, but you have to be patient. And the nostalgia factor, you earn that. Like it's not one of those things where they play Laura Palmer's theme right away. It's like they don't play it until like the very end. So when it happens, it feels like a relief where it's like, oh my goodness, like that feels so earned. It's not like Star Wars where it's like, playing every single theme possible every 2 minutes, But yeah, I genuinely don't know how you like the return, but I'll be curious to hear your thoughts, especially with the first episode because it's wild, man, with what happens.
And then the movie.
It's insane. The movie, so the movie actually gets better after watching the return. There are certain elements that tie in perfectly with the TV show, but you don't realize it until after you see the return, specifically the finale of the return. There's a perfect moment in the finale of the return, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. You'll see though. Once you see the movie and once you see the return, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's good, man. Beamer Bro 1 says Twin Peaks season 1 is incredible, but I found that season 2 is 14 episodes longer than it should have been. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 100%. Ace Paulette says, also, I love how The Leftovers has gone full art house. Yes. What's wild is that show, it's pretty much the Book of Revelations, but it's the Book of Revelations, but it's not in a way where, how do I put this? I grew up watching a lot of like Christian movies like Left Behind and everything, which is all about the Book of Revelations, but it's sanitized. Leftovers is not the sanitized version. It is the Book of Revelations and what it would actually happen if it was in like today's day and age. But at the same time, they sprinkle in like certain art house elements, especially in like season 2.
You should pitch that to your parents.
I honestly, I think when I saw the first episode, I was like, let me ask them if they've seen this. I knew that they hadn't, but I was just out of curiosity. I was like, I wonder if they've heard about this show, and they hadn't. So I was like, okay, it is what it is. But it's a great show. It really is. Ace Split says the return looks amazing. It is. Ace Splits, I love how The Leftovers doesn't answer everything, and there's a lot of interpretation. I'm assuming Twin Peaks would be similar. Yes. There's things that I'm still picking up on with Twin Peaks, and that's just how David Lynch's work is in general. I feel like his films you can't really just watch once. Even his most successful one, like The Elephant Man, it's still something that you watch a second time and you appreciate certain elements much more. But especially his more art house stuff like Inland Empire, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, like stuff like that. Especially Lost Highway. Like the first time I watched it, half the time I didn't know what was really happening. I was just taking in the vibes, and then the last 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting an understanding on what's happening. But he's blessed. My friend told me his favorite part of the return is part 17. That's a great episode. Mine's episode 8, though. I think that is one of the best episodes of TV, just hands down. You'll right away, Sergey, when the episode happens, you'll know exactly why. You'll be like, yeah, this is definitely a Chad episode. It hits like every single check mark of things that I like.
This aired what, HBO or?
No, it was Showtime, believe it or not.
Okay, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I remember hearing that episode 8, the cinematographer was like, look out for episode 8. It's something special. And everyone's like, what happens? He's like, you'll see. And apparently nobody really knew what Lynch was doing because he was very secretive with episode 8. So when it aired, I remember being shocked. I was like, what did I just watch? And then I looked at the schedule and it was like, oh, the next episode is not until 2 weeks later. I see how it is, Lynch. He's like, I want you to marinate on it more. Can't articulate. Sorry, Chad. Dexter Original Sin is objectively good. So as of right now, one of my friends and I were actually going to be doing a live stream talking about Dexter Original Sin, and we'll have thoughts. I think it's just personally okay, but the more I think about it, the more I don't like it. And I'm saying that as someone that likes the original Dexter so much that I named my dog Dexter. So that's my 30-second review.
This is the prequel to the show, the new one.
Yeah, where it pretty much if someone were to watch this, there would be no mystery of season 1 of Dexter 1, like
Okay.
whatsoever. It's very frustrating, I think.
But I hear they're going to continue Dexter another season.
Yeah, they are. Which I didn't know how until the first scene of Dexter Original Sin. I was like, oh, that's how you're getting around that. Okay. But yeah. It's like they have to make spinoffs of everything. They're trying to. The original ending of Dexter was controversial, so they tried to fix that with Dexter New Blood. And then that was even more controversial. So then they're like, okay, let's do it again. Third time's a charm, and I guess we'll see how that works. And I'm like, I liked the controversial original ending. I liked that. Ace Bullets, does Sergey know he's supposed to watch Firewalk with me after season 2?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I told Sergey, because I didn't want it to be that you watch Firewalk with me and they make certain things very obvious, such as who killed Laura Palmer. And it's like, it's the one thing that kind of sticks out for me, because I'm like, when I'm watching, I'm like, I can't really recommend this to anyone unless they've seen the show. And that's something that's kind of frustrating. And also at the same time, other than that, it does kind of stand on its own for the most part. Like, it definitely fits Lynch's filmography. But I don't know. I kind of want to watch it again because the more I think about it, the more I do like it. But I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. Ace Plets, it's called Gotta Light, correct? Yes, I actually have the shirt for that where it says Gotta Light, and I'm sure that my coworkers are confused because they're like, "You don't smoke." Like, yeah, it's Twin Peaks, the that obscure show that came out several years ago. Yeah.
It's funny because when I grew up watching Veronica Mars, and that clearly is a show that was inspired by Twin Peaks.
Yep. It's funny you mentioned Veronica Mars because I never saw the show, but I saw the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, the show is way better than the movie.
I'm assuming so. The movie seems
they tried to fit a whole season in like one movie.
That's what it felt like. Like, I had fun with it, but I knew I was clearly missing a lot of jokes that the show established, but I enjoyed it. I can't articulate great Fargo TV review chat. I finally finished it. Now I'm on Yellow Jackets. Yeah, man, I saw your comment. Thanks again. I appreciate it. And Yellow Jackets, my wife watched it. She said it was really good, specifically season 1. I haven't seen it yet. The premise sounds like something that would be a one-off, but I could be wrong. Very curious. Ace Plets, I think everything is subjective in media. Yeah, of course. I mean, as I always say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. A man's treasure is another man's trash. Like, a good example, I enjoy Ambulance quite a bit. Sergey does not like it at all. And that's completely fine. I like the fact that movie, it seems like the editor and Michael Bay were on cocaine and at the same time flying a drone. I liked it. What can I say? I was vibing with
That's your guilty pleasure, but I don't think you think that's a good movie.
I I have a lot of fun with it, man. Like, I love that. I love the scene where they're doing an operation in a vehicle where it's like 65 miles an hour, and they've never done this operation before, and they're talking to doctors on the phone playing golf. It's so ridiculous. It's great. Like, when I think of that movie, I'm always thinking about that scene. I'm like, Michael Bay was probably like, yeah, hopefully this hits home what I'm going for. And then Jake Gyllenhaal just randomly says he has herpes, and I'm like,
That
what?
I remember.
I'm like, what? You're with Taylor Swift? What? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He splits. I hate how everything has spin-offs now. Yeah, it's frustrating. I can't articulate. Have you started the White Lotus season 3 yet? Episode 1 was actually good for me. I have like 5 shows airing in February. Yes, I watched White Lotus season 3 episode 1 the day after So Monday. I really liked that. I thought it was quite good. I like the mystery. I like the characters so far, and I am intrigued. Sergey, I forget. Do you watch The White Lotus or no?
No. Is that on HBO?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm watching Severance.
Oh, I
Finished
heard
the
that's
first
excellent.
season. It was pretty good. Second season, I'm not sure what its direction is. Feels like it just hit the reset button, but we'll see where
Oh,
that goes.
really?
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm curious. I'm curious now. Yeah, I should watch it soon. White Lotus, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts because take Infinity Pool, strip it of all the art house Cronenberg type elements, and you have like a laid back show of like characters doing rich people things, and tackling that class in like a you know interesting way, but at the same time comedic. And that's pretty much what White Lotus is. Yeah, I enjoy it. I don't love it, but I do quite enjoy it. And I like the cast of characters that they have for each season. It's similar to Fargo, where each season stands on its own, and it's almost like an anthology series. But every now and then you'll have characters that are from previous seasons that will be, in one season or another. So, Ace Plett says, "Is it true Twin Peaks inspired a lot of Sopranos dreams?" So I'm on season 1, episode 12 of the Sopranos, and they've had a couple of dream sequences that I did turn to my wife and I said, "Oh wow, this does seem like it's inspired by like David Lynch." Not really loving the Sopranos on rewatch, but those sequences I do like. So I would say yes. People always say the Sopranos inspired, the golden age of TV, but before that came Twin Peaks. Can't articulate. No, my favorite thing in media are objectively great. Ace Blitz, if Hannibal went on for longer and was good, do you think it would be higher in your favorites? Possibly. I know originally they were planning to do, I think it was 6 to 7 seasons, and they were going to follow the books up until I think Silence of the Lambs, if I'm not mistaken, because they didn't have the rights to that, or they were going to try to get the rights. I think if it had maintained the same quality, then yeah. But the problem was that season 3 went full on art house, and it had such a limited audience to begin with that it stripped half the audience. So there wasn't really a chance that if they still maintained that season 3, structure, that it would have even gotten to season 6 or 7. So, but yeah, I think it works as 3 seasons. I know a lot of people want a season 4. I don't really. I think that it works as 3 seasons. I'm okay. I'm okay with it ending there. Ace Blitz and Oz is a big reason for Sopranos. Yes, Oz is great. Oz is, I don't want to say underrated. I want to say it's underappreciated because nobody seems to talk about it. Ace Blitz, yeah, it was going to be 6 seasons. Yep. Can't articulate Oz, The Sopranos. Oz has a top 5 series finale for me. Yeah, I did like the series finale, but I do like the series finale of The Sopranos too. Ace Blitz, Hannibal looks so interesting to me. Yeah, it's a great show. Probably gonna rewatch it again in October. Right now, I'm also watching Louis. I finished season 1. I liked it. I will say some elements. I don't want to say they haven't aged well, but it's one of those things where now that we know how Louis C.K. is in real life, like all the times he's talking about masturbating, it's like, okay then.
Which
But
is why it's not
fun.
surprising when it came out.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, oh, I mean, you literally filmed. It's not a documentary, but you literally.
I mean, it kind of feels like it is, like an insight on his life.
It does. Especially all the times he's talking about masturbating. I'm just like, are you trying to tell us something? Is this show like a therapy session for you? If so, that's fine. I'm also watching Shaun the Sheep. That's like a show where if I only have 20 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'll watch 3 episodes. It's fun. I like it a lot. There's some adult humor in it that I was not expecting, specifically male nudity. I was like, okay, all right. I think I sent you the Snapchat because I was just like, whoa, like this is insane. And then what else am I watching? Let's see, Leftovers. I mean, not Leftovers. Louis, Shaun the Sheep, Sopranos, Finished Veep, Finished Dexter.
You can be rewatching The Wire.
Not The Wire. There is a show. I got my list here. Oh, I might be watching. There's a show called The Pit. It's on HBO Max. I might watch it. It sounds interesting. It's apparently a show that takes place at a hospital. And I noticed the episodes are almost formatted like the show 24, where it's like 7 a.m. and the next episode's 8 a.m. So I'm like, 24 meets Grey's Anatomy. Haven't seen either, but combine them, 10 episodes, HBO. Okay, maybe I'll watch it.
No commercials.
I'm watching Invincible. I'm watching that as well. Yeah. That show I'm watching. So the shows I'm watching week to week are The White Lotus, Invincible. Oh, Banshee. I still have the finale to watch of Banshee.
When are you starting Homeland?
So the thing is this. Right now, it's a tie in my Patreon because I wanted to, the people that are part of my Patreon, I wanted to give them something where I'm like, all right, you guys are part of my Patreon, so you guys are voting with what I'm watching next. Problem is, right now, it's a tie. So I'm waiting for there to be a break in the tie. I think right now it's between The Last Airbender and The Shield, I believe. Two very different shows, but it's between those two shows. So I'm waiting for that to, break. And then once that breaks, then I'll watch one of the bigger shows. So we'll see how that goes. What are you planning to watch next?
TV show wise?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Mr. Robot. Probably continue Hell on Wheels. I started it but never finished it. And then what was it? That one show on Netflix that I started? Native American, like investigative drama. I think it was called Dark Winds or something, or High Winds.
Oh, yeah, I think it was called Dark Winds. Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the first season. It was enjoyable. Yeah.
Movie-wise, there's the list I sent you of like the movies I was possibly going to blind buy on Criterion. There's some I'm going to watch on HBO since they're there. I'm going to watch to see if it's something I would buy. But yeah, I have a lot of movies right now on my list that I'm planning to watch. Tomorrow I'm planning to Method View. I'm planning to do Taxes and Laundry. So what movie do you think I'm going to watch after that?
Wolf of Wall Street?
No, Everything Ever All at Once.
Oh, okay.
One of the big things is like, I'll love you until the end, just doing laundry and taxes. And I'm like, laundry and taxes. All right, it's a laundry day, it's a tax day. Combine the two. All right, it's time to watch Everything Ever All at Once. Method viewing, back to back.
And not filing your taxes on time, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis would go after me. But yeah, I have a bunch of Criterions to potentially watch. I'm almost done my AFI top 10 genre films. I have The Thief of Baghdad to watch and Dark. And then there's some animated films I need to rewatch because it's been such a long time. But movie-wise, I have a lot. I'm planning to also rank what's the director's name? Let me look it up real quick. Gives me an excuse to rewatch all that jazz. Bob Fosse, I believe that's his name. Yeah. I'm planning to rank his work. So I'm going to rewatch all that jazz once I'm done watching.
I don't think I've seen any of his movies outside of all that jazz.
He did Cabaret, which won Best Director. Actually, he won Best Director for that over Francis Ford Coppola, which is, surprising. Let's see. And then I still have one more Noah Baumbach movie to watch. I was saving potentially the best for last, which is The Squid and the Whale.
Okay, that's a great movie.
Yeah, I know you really liked it, and I've been looking forward to not rewatching, watching for the first time. Human Nature, I need to watch. That's the film Charlie Kaufman wrote. It's the only one that he wrote that I haven't seen. So, director ranking wise, I have a bunch, but not that I'm really in a hurry because I'm like a year ahead of scheduling wise. And I still need to watch Mel Gibson's new movie so that way we can do the
Oh
ranking for
god, I
both.
heard terrible things about it.
I did too. My wife and I, we were talking about Mark Wahlberg. She's like, I think that was like a ball cap. And I was like, I don't think it was.
Well,
He went
yeah,
method. I think he went method viewing, and he did go. I mean, not method viewing. He went method acting. He actually did shave his head completely, and I was like, I knew it. Like he looks like the type of person that would do that, and he did it.
well, Mel Gibson didn't even want to put his name on the movie, so
Oh no, that wasn't him. That was the studio
yeah.
because he's not someone that will bring people in theaters.
No.
He's someone that will bring people away from theaters.
Well, if all of his movies were watchable, I think this might be his worst movie. Like even his first, I don't know if you saw his debut film, but like that
I
was
did.
okay. Like definitely his worst, but watchable. I can't say it's a terrible movie.
I didn't like it. I mean, I when I was watching, I was just like, like I'm glad that he did Braveheart after that because I don't know, for some reason I thought Braveheart was his debut, but or maybe or
Debut
was it?
for violence and destruction and
Yeah,
every other
yeah.
movie since then.
And ever since then, he's like, all right, I need that violence. Let's see. Ace Paulette says, Chad, who's your favorite Leftovers character and episode? Um, I actually don't know what my favorite. Actually, I can look real quick on IMDb, which is the highest rated that I've given, because I don't think there was too many episodes that I gave a 10 out of 10 on IMDb. Let's see. Character wise, I think Kevin Garvey might be my favorite, just in Therox's character. Also, Margaret Qualley's in it. Sorry, just as a heads up. It's her, like one of her first role, not first roles, but one of her roles that got her into stardom. Let's see. Yeah, season 1, episode 9, I gave a 10 out of 10. Season 2, I didn't give any. Maybe the season 3 finale. Season 3 finale, I gave a 10 out of 10. Oh no, I need to rewatch it. It's been almost 4 years. 4 years and pre having COVID. So Ace Paulette's How is Hell on Wheels. Sergey, I think Sergey, you said it's okay so far, right?
So far, but I only got in like 2 episodes. But I mean, that show lasted for quite a while, so I would assume it's, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Though Yellowstone has lasted for a while, so I don't know.
I still have the second half of the final season to watch.
I think one of the spinoffs is getting another season.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The Harrison Ford one. I don't think he turns into the Red Hulk in that one, though.
Being Row One shows I'm currently watching Billions, Justified, Dexter, Invincible, Severance, Harley Quinn, and Common Side Effects. Holy cow, that's a lot. I mean, actually, to be fair, I think that's around the same amount that I'm watching. It's tough balancing TV shows, though. That's a good amount, though. Bootzilla's in the chat. Hi guys, what's up? Sorry I'm joining late, dude. It's fine. Marv's not here. He's completely.
He's still celebrating the Eagles win.
Yeah. Can't articulate. I have a lot right now. Severance, Invincible, Pantheon, Yellow Jackets, Reacher, 1923 when it starts Sunday. Surprise, Harrison Ford's still doing it. He's gonna work till the end, man. Bootzilla, I saw Companion, rewatched Dread, and we'll watch The Brutalist this weekend. Yeah. Companion. Middle of the road. Dread, I liked, although I liked it better when it was called The Raid. No, I'm kidding. Those two, I think they came out the same year, I'm pretty sure, which is funny. It was one of those Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down kind of scenarios where It just so happened that two studios were making very similar films at the same time. And then The Brutalist, you guys know how much I love that film. I've seen it 3 times, and I would watch it a 4th time in a heartbeat. I'm excited to watch the. Oh, by the way, sorry, were you able to get off for the Oscars?
Yeah, I'll be off.
Cool. Yeah, I'm
We'll see
excited to
what
watch the
Brutalist
Oscars.
wins.
I don't think The Brutalist is going to win. I think what's going to happen is Nora will win Best Picture, and The Brutalist
That's
will
what it
get
seems
Best
like.
Director. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Or Conclave. I think
Conclave
Conclave could be the spoiler for Best Picture. In fact,
I mean,
I wouldn't be
okay.
surprised in the slice if Conclave won, because it's a film that everyone can get behind and say that they liked it. Versus Nora, there's going to be some people who are like, oh my goodness, sex. And then The Brutalist, there's going to be some people who are like, oh my goodness, it's 3.5 hours. But Conclave, it's like a film that anyone can watch. And it's like, this is very, very entertaining. It's 2 hours, just straight political intrigue. And you're constantly wondering what's going to happen next.
So I'm Still Here is kind of out.
I don't think it's going to win Best Picture now.
But
I think if it
international
might be
film,
lucky and win Best International Feature.
So I do like it more than what's that? Emilia Perez.
Emilia Perez.
Yeah. But Emilia Perez is just like a really bold film. It's just way different. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You would think online, because both our reviews for I'm Still Here, you see the passion of, the Brazilian audience. Like, you see that they love the film. And don't get me wrong, the Academy Awards, they have gone international. They have a lot more voters that are now international. So it's like, is this going to be a Parasite type situation? I don't think so, because when I hear people talk about the Oscars, I don't really hear too many people talk about I'm Still Here. I hear more so people talking about Nora or Conclave or The Brutalist, usually because of the length. So I'm leaning more towards Conclave the more that I think about it. I think that this could be similar to 2015, where everyone thought The Revenant was going to win, including myself. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Spotlight could win. And I think that Conclave could, because Conclave is probably going to win screenplay. It could potentially win one of the other below the line categories, such as like best editing. And that's all it would need to then win Best Picture. It would be 3 wins.
No director nomination, though.
Yeah, but if you look at history, like Argo won Best Picture, no Best Director nomination. Coda only had, I think, 3 Oscar nominations, and it won all 3. So it's happened before, and I think with the preferential voting, it's going to help Conclave versus something like a Nora or The Brutalist. It might hurt it, honestly, because think about it. I have The Brutalist high up on my list, but on your ranking list, it's probably like what, number 8? I would say number 7 or 8.
Well, of the Oscars or of the whole year?
Of the Oscars.
Yeah, it's much lower. I don't know where exactly, but I thought the movie was okay. Like I wouldn't want it to win Best Picture.
So if you have it at number 7 or 8, and I think I have it at number 2, that means it would be somewhere in the middle, like 4 or 5. And that's not going to be enough for it to win picture. Like, it would have to have a lot of number 1, 2s, and 3s. And will it get that? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I would choose every other movie in the Best Picture category over it. Literally every movie over it.
I mean, I think it'd be amazing if it won, because, I mean, I know we just had Oppenheimer win, which is another American epic, but I think the fact that this film only costed $10 million and was able to do so much with it, I think will signal that, hey, you can make an epic with this budget. It also showcases the director's ability of, using money wisely, which is something Marv always talks about. He's like, I don't think movies should cost $200 million. And I'm like, I agree. And, there are movies such as, like, think about the MCU movies. They cost $200 million, but when we were watching it, you're like, doesn't really seem like it costs $200 million. So I don't know. I think that's something that, in terms of message wise, it's something I would like The Brutalist to win for, among other reasons. I think filmmaking wise, it's exceptional. But I also think about it, I'm like, Sean Baker or Brady Corbet. I think that more people look at Sean Baker in terms of like highly esteemed directors because he's been working a lot longer. So I don't know. We'll see. Can't articulate White Lotus 2. This is why TV over movies. I love TV. Love TV, but movies. Sorry, I always gotta say it. Godzilla. Oh yeah, I also saw The Gorge, which was decent. I forget, Sergey, was that the one that you saw? The Gorge?
No. What is that, a movie?
Let me look it up. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's a movie. My bad. Scott Derrickson. It's on Apple TV. That's why I haven't seen it.
Scott Derrickson. That could be a hit or a miss, honestly.
Yeah, he is. Ace Paulette's Kevin is also my favorite character. An International Assassin would be my favorite so far. Personally, I think it's a masterpiece. Yeah, that is a great episode. That's why I typically do one show at a time. I feel like it's overwhelming otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, you're not wrong.
That's why I do like different genres too. Like I could watch Veep as a comedy and then watch something more serious like Twin Peaks.
That's what I try to do. And then I'll have, of course, like my week-to-week shows. Because it's like, oh, you know. Otherwise, for me, I know some people love binge watching, but sometimes I like having it spread out. And that's why I like that a show like Invincible or a show like Dexter Original Sin had it where it was like week to week. Bootzilla, Dread, and The Raid are eerily similar. Yeah, they are. They are. Bootzilla, I actually think Honora is going to win actress, picture, and director. Sergey, what are your thoughts on this? I'm curious.
I don't know if it's going to win Best Actress. Might win Best Picture. Director is kind of in the air. I'm not like 100% sold that that's going to happen, but I don't know. I wouldn't be against it. I really like the movie, but
It's a good movie.
There's better nominees.
Isn't it exciting though? Like there are 4 potential films that could win Best Picture, and I think Best Director could go.
I may be a surprise if The Substance could pull it off, but
I would go all Eagles fan if that happened. I don't think it
knock
would.
down poles and traffic lights.
I'm just like the only one in the street tearing down a street pole. What happened? The Substance won Best Picture. All right, we're going to jail. Wait a minute, Eagles fans can do this, but if I do it,
you got to say you're saving the country, and then it'll be fine.
I get for T Daddy Trump. All right, never mind. You get a pass. All right, thank you. Just wear a MAGA hat. Well, actually, I don't think. Yeah, never mind. Anyways, yeah, if The Substance won Best Picture, I'd be ecstatic. It would pretty much be like when Parasite won Best Picture, where I would just was like, holy cow. But I don't want Wicked to win.
No.
A Complete Unknown. Nope.
It's all right. Not Best Picture winner, though.
It shouldn't have been nominated, in my opinion. Very okay. Maybe when I rewatch, I'll like it better. I don't see it happening though. We'll see though. I'm still here. Glad I got nominated. Nickel Boys, I liked it quite a bit. I could see that, increasing in terms of rating upon rewatch. Really, really good film. Amelia Perez, really like it. I think it would be. It's not my favorite. Didn't even make my honorable mentions for top 10 of the year. But if that one, I would just love to see people's reactions. Oh my God, it's Amelia Perez won. It's Crash all over again. It's like, all right, just relax.
I think she has a higher chance to win Best Actress.
Zoe Saldana?
Yeah. Then, what's her name? Mickey Madsen.
Yeah, I think the thing with Mikey Madison is that I know people love her performance. I do too. I think she was great in the film. But I do think that when you stack her against some of the other nominees, it's like, I don't know. Demi Moore, not only does she have to do so much more, in my opinion, but she also has the narrative on her side where it's like, this is someone that's been in the industry for a long time. It's a comeback story in many instances, and she just has to do so much. She has to be in prosthetics. She has to emulate her emotions in prosthetics. On top of that, she has a lot of nudity, which is something that let's be honest, nudity, especially as the older you get, it's something that people become less accepting of. So the fact that she put herself out there, it's commendable. I don't know. It's a performance that I admire quite a bit. I think she did a great job. I wish Margaret Qualley got nominated, honestly, too. I think she was fantastic too. It was a missed opportunity. I it's gonna be a hot take, but I think Ariana Grande was good in Wicked, but I would have easily switched her out for Margaret Qualley, hands down. Not even a question.
If
And the other
anything, Cynthia Avero should have been there, not Ariana Grande.
yeah, I don't think either of them should have been. I think they were both good, but there was people that were on the bubble in terms of potentially getting nominated that I would have nominated over them. But it's frustrating because Wicked is probably going to win a couple Oscars, such as like I think production design and I think what was the other one, costume design, and it's like really we're going to give production design to Wicked over Dune Part 2, really? So I'm hoping that Dune Part 2 wins in that category, or even The Brutalist with what it's able to do with its minimum budget and able to really make things come to life through the production design. I don't know. We'll see. But if Wicked wins Best Makeup, I'm gonna go all Eagles fan in the streets in a bad way. I'm gonna be like, really, Wicked? Ace Blitz, the acting, Leftovers is so good. Yeah, it really is. Godzilla, the Gorge is Apple TV with Anya Taylor-Joy, Miles Teller, mixture of sci-fi horror and a little romance. Maybe I'll check it out. Ace Blitz, hot take, going to get killed in the comments for this. Personally, think The Sopranos is overrated. Still very good though. Just don't think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, yeah, I agree. Watching it, it's kind of a passive viewing. It's solid. I appreciate with what it's doing for TV. Like while I'm watching it, I'm picking up on things that clearly inspired such TV shows as Breaking Bad, but I'm not loving it so far on rewatch, but we'll see. But back to the Oscars. Sergey, one of the things that I did this year that was different from other years is I actually watched all the short films.
I saw,
yeah. Do you think you'll watch any of the short films, like animated or?
Probably not.
Why not?
No. You watched all the animated, but not the short live action ones?
No, I did. AMC, they had one for each. So I think it was, what was it, Tuesday they had the live action, and then Wednesday they had the animated.
Okay.
So I did.
That's all included in A-list now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool, man. It was cool. One of the reasons why I didn't do reviews for really any of them was because they would play the short and then they would have the credits and then they would play the next one like back to back to back. So that's why I just would quickly log like my rating. But
I'd be curious if they did the documentaries, but they also have documentary shorts as well.
Yeah, I need to watch some of the documentaries. The one that doesn't have a distributor, that one has that one I think has a lot of potential to win, but it's also one that I'm intrigued by because apparently it's something that's very timely. So I do want to watch it.
Yeah.
But short film wise, I don't know what's going to win because thematically there's certain ones where I'm like I could see this winning, but my heart wants Beautiful Men to win. I think that one was so good. It's an animated film about three guys that are all balding, and they go to get a hair transplant. I'm just like, this would have been me if it wasn't for Hims. I'm like, I would die if before they had the short film category, if they had like an advertisement for Hims, I would have been like, Oscars, please make it happen. That'd be amazing. It splits every other HBO show I watched so far. I prefer. Yep. Connor Holt is in the chat. Hello, Connor. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Have you been watching any recent films or TV shows? Or I shouldn't say have you been watching any recent ones. Have you watched any movies or TV shows recently, I should say. Sorry, the Celsius. This video is sponsored by Celsius. Celsius hasn't quite hit just yet. Godzilla Sopranos is top 5 show for me. Those middle seasons were a little tough, but still overall a great show. Great performances from the cast. That's fair. Although you got me nervous now. If the middle seasons are rough, oh boy, oh boy. Godzilla Sopranos went maybe 1.5 seasons. Oh gosh,
I thought that said 11.5 seasons for a second.
man, I'm gonna need another bottle of Hims. This is getting me even more nervous. East Blood Sopranos definitely some of the best TV acting at Godzilla. I actually prefer the later seasons. Well, that has me at least somewhat excited. At least the later seasons are better. The season 1 I'm struggling with. I'm just like, okay, you need therapy. It's a big deal. We got it. You wouldn't like it, Sergey, especially since
I have no interest in watching it.
I don't think you would like it.
Like, I'd give The Wire a chance, but not surprised.
Yeah, The Wire's great, and I kind of want to rewatch it, honestly.
The West Wing, I thought about it. Probably not watching that either.
You know me. Like, I want to watch it on one hand because it's Aaron Sorkin writing, but on the other hand, I'm like, I think it's like 7 seasons, 25 episodes each season. I'm like, and it's not even like it's 20-minute episodes. It is, I think, 45-minute episodes. And I'm like, oh gosh, jeez. Like, oh no. So I do want to rewatch Mad Men. I do want to rewatch Mr. Robot. There's some shows I just want to rewatch. So we'll see what I decide to rewatch. But Sergey, are you gonna be watching what's it called? The movie that's coming out in theaters soon. Like wondering if you're gonna be watching it.
Be watching the Woody Harrelson movie that's coming out.
Oh, Last Breath?
Yeah. And then the My Best Friend Zoe or whatever that movie's called.
I heard that's good.
Yeah.
Novocaine's coming out soon. Oh, and Black Bag.
Black Bag. Who's that directed by again?
Steven Soderbergh.
Oh, okay.
2 films in the same year, a couple months
apart. Mean, Presence is probably my favorite movie so far. I mean, we're still really early in the year.
Yeah, I remember when we saw that. I remember when we saw it, I was like, it's my favorite movie of the year so far. It was only my second movie. Yeah, Novocaine, Black Bag, Opus is coming out, and Mickey 17.
Okay, yeah, that one should be good. I recently saw Armand. That was okay.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see it, but the showtimes just were not matching my schedule.
Let's see. You still have to see Captain America. Whether I don't know if you're watching that in theaters or not.
I haven't decided. I'm so drained from the MCU. I really am. I'm like, do I really want to see a 2-hour movie that I saw a billion times in the trailer?
Well, you saw. I
feel like the trailer,
like the third act, pretty much. But yeah,
lovely. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, man.
It was all right. Like, I didn't hate it. I thought I was gonna hate it, but I'd watch it over Deadpool and Wolverine, even though I think you could have more fun with Deadpool and Wolverine, but it doesn't really function as a movie outside of its like nostalgia bait and humor.
Oh, I would hate to rewatch Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, if I were to watch that by myself, I probably would give it a 2 out of 5. But because I was with you and a huge audience, I was able to appreciate. I'm like, I like this 5. I'm glad everyone's enjoying this movie, even though
it's like the last Spider-Man movie. It's
yeah. That movie does not work as a movie.
No.
That movie, especially, like, it was watching it. I was like, I know I'm supposed to turn my brain off, but watching it, there were so many scenes where I'm like, they're clearly not together. They're clearly not in the same room. Like, this is bad. I understand that it was shot during COVID, but bro, like, there was just so many scenes where that was happening. And I'm pretty sure even the scenes with all the Spider-Man, I'm like, are they all together? Like, I don't think that they are. I feel like they put them all together in post.
I don't know. 2 more movies till we get an Avengers film, so I don't know.
Hoorah.
Gonna see it. Maybe Fantastic Four, third time's the charm. Doesn't look terrible. Thunderbolts looks terrible, but Fantastic Four might be okay.
Thunderbolt seems like they're trying to replicate the Guardians of the Galaxy.
With the Black Widow cast.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, we're getting the gang back together, and we gotta do a mission, and it's like, okay, cool. Who's even the director of Thunderbolts?
No clue.
Is it someone that they picked under, like, out of a hat? Let's see. Let's see. Jake Shira.
I don't know.
Okay, this is frustrating because this director is actually pretty good. And when I say pretty good, I mean like I saw.
Oh, he did the TV show Beef.
I heard Beef was good, but he did a film called Robot and Frank, which I really liked. I thought that was quite good. But is it gonna work as a film? How many writers did they have? Oh, 4. Actually, technically 3 writers. Okay, I mean that's less than the usual Marvel machine. Yeah. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I'm like, I should be excited. I should be excited for each Marvel movie. It should be one of those things where I'm like, okay, I want to stay for the after credit scenes. But at this point, I'm like, I don't really care, to be honest. I really don't. I feel like I'm in the middle of an ABC TV show where it's like, we're just filling time. We have 22 episodes that we have to do, even though we have 10 episodes worth of material. We just need stuff to fill in before we get to the finale. But it's like
you saw WandaVision, but you didn't watch anything else, right?
I watched the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight because I like that block, and then I just lost interest. And I honestly, even though Daredevil's coming out again, I don't care. I really don't. I don't. I liked Daredevil the show, but I do not care. I really don't.
Has that killed your?
How many times is he going to go up against Kingpin? How many times? Like,
so you wouldn't revisit the original Daredevil then either, then, right? Like the show.
No, I would.
Oh, okay.
I gave it a second chance because I remember I stopped halfway into season 2, but I went back and I watched the show all the way, and yeah, I liked it.
I never started Punisher. I kind of got tired of it and just like gave up.
That show didn't really seem like something that, I don't know. It didn't seem like something that really drew me in, so that's why I never gave it a chance. Just like the other spinoff shows, like what was the Avengers style one that they did that was like Deadpool? I mean, not Deadpool, Daredevil. It was Daredevil, Punisher,
League something.
Something like that. It was like one season, and then
yeah.
I forget the name of it.
I forget too. I never finished Jessica Jones or
that one. I didn't
Cage. Iron Fist, I thought was all right, but then I don't know, kind of lost interest.
Wasn't that one supposed to be like really bad? Like that's all I heard. So I was like, I won't watch it then.
The Defenders, I think, is what that show is called.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And then didn't that stuff get taken off Netflix and now it's on like Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Great. We'll never see a physical media copy.
You don't want it on physical media anyway.
I don't. But for people that do. No, I was thinking about it, and I watched the movie Here, directed by Robert Zemeckis, and I was like, I ranked his work, and then later on that year, he had a film called The Witches, and I kept putting off watching it, and it was a Max original, but now it's not even on Max. They literally, I think, deleted the movie, so I'm like, it's annoying because there's one Robert Zemeckis movie I haven't seen, and it's a movie I can't even watch unless I sail the 7 seas.
It's bad anyway.
I mean, it's Anne Hathaway. I do like Anne Hathaway, so I'm like, maybe it's watchable.
How bad is the CGI in Here?
I didn't really have an issue with the CGI. I more so had an issue with the editing
Okay.
because they use these transitions that are so distracting. Like they have it where they go back and forth in the past and the present, and how they transport you back to and from is they'll have like a rectangle box that will then slowly fade from one to the other in the middle of the screen. So I feel like I'm watching 2001: A Space Odyssey almost, from like, what is happening? Like, why are they doing this? It just was so distracting. So it's like a ghost story if the person had never experienced depression or any sadness ever in their life. That's pretty much what the movie here was.
But it's covering her life since adolescence to what? To old age or something.
They also throw in people from the Revolutionary War, like before
What?
the house was even built. Yeah, yeah, it's
So you liked the better one was called Boyhood.
I like the better one's called Boyhood. I like the better one's called Ghost Story. I'm glad that I happened to get the movie The Post out from the library at the same
I
time.
actually was considering watching those. I've never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen The Post?
No,
So
I know.
part of me wishes that I recommended you to watch it before All the President's Men, because you know how September 5 is like a perfect prequel to Munich.
Yeah.
The Post is pretty much a prequel to All the President's Men.
Okay.
So it almost feels like it's leading up to All the President's Men, where it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I like The Post. The Post is, I don't want to say it's underrated because it got a Best Picture nomination, but it just, I feel like it's underseen these days. But it's good. I like it quite a bit. It's the better Tom Hanks film that I watched that day. Like when I watched here, I was like, I need to watch a good Tom Hanks movie. So I was like, let me rewatch The Post, and I did, and I'm like, liked it even better. But I'll be curious to hear how you like it. It's the same. It's one of the same writers that did Spotlight, so it has that like procedural aspect of journalism that Spotlight had. By the way, we got, looks like a bunch of comments. Let's see. Ace Platts actually. Oh wait, I already saw it. My bad. I think the tone just got darker, and I enjoyed way more. I would say there's less therapy later on. Godzilla, really, it's season 5 and first half of season 6. Ace Split says, I think The Sopranos got better every season. Godzilla, they were okay to good, but they spent too much time on ancillary stuff in those seasons. Ace Blitz, think a lot of the stuff in the earlier seasons hasn't aged well. Godzilla, watch The Wire, please. As you may know, it's my all-time favorite show. Don't give up after the first few episodes. Everyone says it's boring. Those first few episodes, I even did, but I stuck with it. I will agree with that. I remember watching the first couple episodes and I bailed. And then I came back to it in, I think, early 2018. And I stuck with it. And I liked it a lot. So I agree with that. Ace Splits, I need to watch The Wire. It looks great. Yes. Godzilla, and now I love it. Have rewatched The Wire 3 times. Gets better every time. And I have heard that. I've heard that the world building, there's a lot of details that on rewatch that people pick up on. So I am excited to rewatch it. Ace Splash, Chad, you prefer Watchmen over every other superhero media? Ooh. Sorry, The Dark Knight's always going to have a special place in my heart. But I will say Watchmen, the TV show, is up there. That was a show that watching it week to week was amazing, but binge watching it was just as great. But
so you would prefer the show over the director's cut of the movie?
It's two different. It feels like two different things. Because how do I put this without spoiling anything? The movie changed the ending of the comics. The TV show acknowledges the comics with that event, and it actually has it occurring in the show. And I think that the TV show, the fact that it's able to make something that's arguably silly into something that feels organic with the world building of the show is incredible. So it really depends on my mood, honestly. Like I love Watchmen the movie, I do, but I also do love the TV show. But I'll be curious to hear your thoughts, Sergey, on Watchmen the TV show.
Yeah,
But
something.
it's not a show for everyone though, because it touches on a lot of themes that are touchy. But it's also kind of amazing because the show came out pre-COVID, and there's a lot of things that you could argue almost predicted COVID. Ace Blitz, I plan on finishing Leftovers this month, and I need to think of what I start next. What would you say, Chad? I mean, The Leftovers, it's the same creator that did Watchmen. I would watch The Watchmen, honestly. Who watches The Watchmen? Ace. You got to watch it. Ace Blitz, you're thinking of Defenders for Daredevil. Yes. Bootzilla, the post was so boring. Sorry, Chad. Oh! I mean, if you're not into newspaper stuff, I was a part of a newspaper in college, so I naturally gravitate towards that type of stuff. So, I mean, yeah, if you don't like seeing people in rooms, Spielberg, keeping the camera moving, John Williams giving, a great score, then yeah, it's not for you. Next.
I just watched a newspaper movie by Billy Wilder. It's called Front Page.
Still need to watch that. You know me, I love Billy Wilder.
And it's the duo, Walter Matthew, and Jack Lemmon.
He's so good. Both of them are good.
Yeah.
Oh, hello there. Oh, Andrew Lay is in the chat. Our favorite New Zealander who also loves Lord of the Rings. Loves them. Thinks that Lord of the Rings are the best thing since sliced bread. What's going on, y'all? Andrew, we were talking about Cobra Kai season 6C for all of 10 minutes. In case you missed it, we're gonna play this again. Why not? We got to play this every 10 seconds. Look at this. This is cinema. This is the next stage of cinema, guys. Look at that. Just amazing. Oh, we gotta play this again. One more time. One more time for copyright. One more time. Oh, look at that fire. Look at that.
Really cranked up the saturation levels on that.
Yeah. Cinema, Andrew. Hero 1, The Wire is easily in my top 3 favorite TV shows. Totally get that. What are your other 2? Yeah, The Wire is an honorable mention for me. I love the show, though. Bootzilla, Hero 1. Bootzilla, in fairness to the post, only saw it once, and I got interrupted a few times, so maybe I will give it another shot. Yeah, I mean, when I watched the post the first time, I thought it was good, but it was also at a point in my life where I was like really depressed. Not that really has anything to do with necessarily the movie. It's not like the movie is like super depressing, but with where I'm at in life now, watching the post, especially since I'm more politically aware, I guess we'll say, I was able to appreciate the post, especially since that part of history I think is fascinating. So I was able to appreciate it much more. But if you don't like newspaper movies, if you don't like All the President's... Actually, I shouldn't say if you don't like All the President's Men, because from a filmmaking perspective, it's so different. Like, All the President's Men, I loved it for its precise camera movement, like, slow dollies, that gritty film look of the 70s. But the post has that, clean film look that Spielberg loves. Slightly overblown lighting, the camera constantly moving, John Williams' score swelling in at times, fast pacing. So that's why I think, sorry, you might like the post. I think you'll definitely like it better than All the President's Men. Even though, as you know, All the President's Men. Andrew Lay, the post is amazing. I'm going to defend it to the death. My most rewatched movie of all time. Also my top film of 2017. Oh, there we go. See? Ace Palettes, how does Sons of Anarchy feel now after some time has passed?
It's left your memory.
I'll put it to you this way. If I videotaped the clip of one of the last scenes of Sons of Anarchy, I would torture you guys with that scene. because that scene is stuck in my mind. Like I remember one of my friends told me the finale was bad, and I was like, "What do you mean it's bad? It has like a really high rating." He's like, "There's some usage of CGI that is unforgivably bad," and I'm like, "You mean like watching it now?" He's like, "No, no, no. This was me watching it in 2014." I'm like, "Okay," and I'm watching the episode, and I'm like, "Okay, I guess the birds don't really look that convincing. Okay, fine, whatever." But then there's a instant thing that a character does, and when it happens, it's like, oh my goodness, how did that get approved? Like, yikes. And it's supposed to be a dramatic moment. You're supposed to really feel with what the character's doing, but instead you're like, this is why CGI artists need to get paid more. That's all I'm gonna
This
say.
is what you thought about Cobra Kai as well.
Yes. Speaking of which, let's gotta do it. Look at that. Look at that throw. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew Light. What is this clip? Stop torturing me. From Cobra Kai, season 6, C, Cinema. Bootzilla, if you like newspaper journalism stuff, you will definitely enjoy season 5 The Wire. David Simon, the creator of the show, was a writer for the Baltimore Sun before getting into TV. And that's probably why I like season 5. I like the newspaper season, and I like the season that's all about the teachers. That was eye-opening. Bootzilla, LOL, had Andrew Lay. I'm sorry, that clip I just think is utterly hilarious. I was like, should this video not be monetized? Like, is it worth it? And I'm like, you know what? It's worth it. Let me show this clip. In fact, I think what I should do is I should change the thumbnail and I should add the scene of him saying it in the middle of us, Sergey. Like, just him being like, just some clickbaity thing. Andrew Leia, finish the Alien franchise, Chads. Something is gonna pop out of my chest now. This is what's gonna pop out. That's what you're gonna say when it pops out. You're gonna be like, mercy. Look at that. He looks like he's not even sure, like, of this directing. Like when the director told him, like, say no mercy, he's probably like, should I really say this in this scene? Or like,
is this a comedic moment or
is this comedic? Like, what's the direction? We need to get you off the set. We only have like 10 minutes left to film. We need to get you out of here. Okay. Ace Blitz reminded me of the Dexter season 8 green screen. See, that green screen, it's not good, but Sons of Anarchy green screen's unforgivably bad. But I will say that instance in season 8, I know the one you're talking about, and it is frustrating because I like the finale, but that is something that stands out where I'm like, oh, gosh. But to be fair, James Cameron didn't direct the water in that sequence. So CGI water has always been something that is nobody's gotten right. It's just like fire. Fire CGI. You saw it in this clip. Like, look at this. Like, this is something that when Jimmy Boy Cameron has Avatar 3 come out later on this year, he's going to revolutionize fire CGI. Calling it now because that's what he does. He's going to make something like this look even worse than it already does. Because that's our boy Jimmy. The guy can do anything. He really can. Andrew Leigh, I'm going to do something controversial now. My ranking. Here we go. Prometheus over Covenant. All right, I mean, Sergey has that. Covenant over Alien. Whoa. I think I need a drink. Gotta keep telling myself I'm subjective. No, I'm kidding. Alien over Romulus. Alien Romulus over Aliens vs. Predator. Over Alien 3.
Over Aliens?
And then Aliens. Alien 3 is better than Aliens.
Nah.
Aliens is better than Resurrection. And then
Well, anything's better than Resurrection.
This is a very interesting take. I like. I mean, I respect it. I mean, Alien being in. I mean, I like Covenant quite a bit, but Alien is Alien. You know.
Oh boy.
Sergey's like, I'm losing my mind.
I'd say Alien, Prometheus, then Aliens.
I mean, I'm glad to
Alien,
see Prometheus getting some love, but
Alien 3, then Alien versus Predator, possibly, and then Romulus. But Resurrection and Alien versus Predator Requiem, they're like neck to neck as like the worst.
those are the ones I haven't seen. I haven't seen Aliens versus
Not missing
Predator.
much.
I haven't seen Resurrection. I haven't seen Aliens versus Predators Requiem.
No, I mean, I haven't either. Everything was in complete darkness in that movie.
I heard that. I forget. Do you have that on Blu-ray?
I do. It's part of the Alien versus Predator collection. I don't even know why I have that, but the first one's kind of a guilty pleasure. So
We should do like a bad movie night sometime. We should. I don't know what we would pair that with, but because I probably should watch that.
you need to force Anthony Perez to watch a bad movie of your choice this time.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing. He might actually like the movie.
He probably does.
Like if I did a watch along with Transformers 5, I need to get his thoughts on Transformers 5 because that would be a movie that I wouldn't mind reviewing because it's jarring with the filmmaking choices that Michael Bay utilizes. It's like, dude, why do you have 5 aspect ratios in the same scene? What is happening? I'm all about aspect ratio changes in a film, but not in the same scene where you have 5 different ones. Like that is when you know that he didn't know what he was doing. There's a simple fix. Just have the editor implement black bars across it all. Fixes it all. Simple. Ace Blitz, I don't know his name, but the old guy lying on the floor in the clip my mom actually met. I think. Forget his name. But that's pretty cool that your mom met him. Also, Angela says, yes, I think Aliens vs. Predator and Alien 3 are better than Aliens. LOL. Angela, I respect your opinion. But in the words of Tarantino, I reject your hypothesis. I love that thing that he said. Angela, although I saw Alien 3 Special Edition. I think I did too. I didn't like it though. I felt very mixed about it. And I'm a Fincher fan saying that. But yeah, Aliens is a franchise that it's always fun to hear people talk about because there's no one ranking. Everyone's ranking is always completely different. Although I will say, Andrew, yours I've never seen before,
Yeah.
which is why I especially respect it. But you have some people like myself where I'm like, I have Alien as number 1, but then I do have I think I have Alien Covenant over Prometheus, which is like a huge hot take. Most people do not like Alien Covenant. And especially, I feel like retroactively, people like Prometheus more after seeing Alien Covenant. I know that's how I felt the first time I saw Alien Covenant. Like, I didn't like it the first time, and I liked Prometheus much more. Aliens, I need to watch again. I liked Aliens, but I just always think about it. I'm like, the thing I like about Prometheus and Alien Covenant and the first Alien is that it's pretty much just one alien. That's what it is. And Aliens, it's like what, hundreds, thousands, some like I need
It's more of a sci-fi action film rather than a contained horror film.
Yeah, and that's what I need to go in with the mindset of. Maybe I'll watch it this year because I do plan to rewatch Terminator 2. I mean, I've already rewatched the Avatar films. I've rewatched Titanic, so I'm like, I may as well rewatch some of his other really good ones. Do I want to buy the Abyss, the AI version? I don't know. We'll see.
Probably not.
I was going to say, probably. Let's be honest.
But I did just buy Avatar Way of Water on 4K, so.
Dude, it looks amazing. You're in for a treat. Is it overly expensive? Yes. Is it frustrating
They
getting
charge
the
you
discs now?
$20 more to get Dolby Vision.
Mm-hmm. Dolby Vision and an extra disc of bonus features. Yay!
That's all probably available on YouTube.
Probably. But that's what's frustrating. If I didn't happen to come across it, dude, I went down the rabbit hole. I was like, look, I understand it's a digibook, but why is this $20+ more than the regular cut? Why? And I happened to stumble across that it had Dolby Vision. I'm like, wait a minute, the original one didn't. I mean, not the original one, but when The Way of Water was originally released on 4K, it didn't. I looked into it. I'm like, oh, it didn't. It had HDR10. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, HDR10 is great, but Dolby Vision, of course, is the one that's like the best. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense as to why they're, charging more, but not that much more. So it's just frustrating because you and I both know that if we like Avatar 3, we can't buy it right away because we're probably going to have to wait for the Ultimate Edition in order to get Dolby Vision and the way that it's meant to be seen.
They know we'll pay for it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do like Avatar: The Way of Water, and I will say, I know one thing that you and I have always disagreed on about Avatar 2 is with when a certain character is able to pick up a 400-pound person. So when I rewatched it, I noticed that another character was able to pick up a 400-pound person. I'm like, okay, so they established it. I'm like, if someone else does it, it makes sense. Okay, I was able to accept it. I was able to live with it. I think I was just more frustrated than anything the fact that we have that same character in the third movie yet again, and I'm like, can we not have him in one of these movies? Like, do we?
I mean,
Really?
he's a good villain.
He is, but I want to see a different villain. I really do. That's why I'm excited for the
He
Fire.
becomes the good guy, and we're introduced to another character as a villain.
Then it's going to become the Fast and Furious franchise. Just joining the family.
Yes.
You were once a bad guy. You were once someone that was against us. Now you're with us. You are one with the forest. Or, I mean, with the water. Now they're with the fire. I'm curious how they're going to add.
Cover all the elements on Earth.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Next, they're going to do winds. Jimmy Boy is going to make groundbreaking wind effects. It's going to have windmills. Going to have a
that's Nolan's thing with windmills.
The Orange Man's going to have a little cameo. I fixed James Cameron. James Cameron is the one.
And he's going to make a resurgence in his in film again. If you go back and you realize how many movies Trump has been in,
it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Side note, not going to happen, but be pretty amazing if Jeremy Strong won for The Apprentice for Best Supporting Actor.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not. It's not. Or Sebastian Stan for Best Actor. That'd be pretty amazing. Also, side note, sorry, I started thinking about Best Actor, and I started thinking about Sing Sing. Did you stay for I guess it's the mid-credit scene of Paddington 3?
I didn't know there were any credits. Oh, wait. There's one. I think I saw the first one where it was like the villain shows up.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I started thinking about Sing Sing, and I was like, what if they combined Sing Sing with Hugh Grant and all the bears? Like, that'd be hilarious. Like Coleman Domingo interacting with them. Like, all right, we got to make this play, guys. It's going to be true art. I don't know. I just thought about that. I was like, oh, that'd be pretty interesting. Sing Sing bears.
I just thought of Heretic. I was like, is he playing that character in this?
Oh, yeah, because he kept doing that with the glasses. Like, he was probably between roles. He's like, would you like a pie? Just kidding. It's actually a candle. Let's see. Split says, I heard someone say Boyd from Justified is one of their favorite TV villains. How do you feel about that? Not one of my favorites, but you know something? He was a good villain. Thought he was pretty good. Andrew Lay, otherwise, Creed was terrible. Snowpiercer was amazing. Hugo was cringe. Whoa! And the fighter was good. I'm checking out Jason Bourne, too. Creed, I quite like. Snowpiercer, it's good. Hugo, I'm sorry, I love Hugo. Fighter, rock solid. Need to rewatch it. Jason Bourne, it's there. What are your thoughts on these movies, Sergey?
None of them are bad. Creed was okay. Snowpiercer I haven't seen in a long time, but I thought it was okay as well. Hugo I do like. And probably The Fighter is my favorite of all of these.
Whoa.
Yeah, I really like it actually. Probably Mark Wahlberg's best movie too.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
good.
Jason Bourne, I enjoyed. It's not to the quality of the first three, but it's all right.
It's not bad.
I haven't had any urge to rewatch it. I don't own it on physical media though.
I only own it on physical media because it
I
has
mean,
like
I don't even own Legacy on physical media either.
I only own those two because I have like the 5 disc the 5 movie set. It's on 4K.
I do think Jason Bourne is better than Legacy though.
Yes. Although I do admire the ambition of the Bourne Legacy. Like the Bourne Legacy is a movie I wish that I liked. I really do because I think on paper it's something that could have been really good. In execution, a lot to be desired. Andrew Lay, I heard good things about Aliens. I respect James Cameron as a director, but can't stand him as a writer. Saw his opening credit for screenplay and realized it was going to be painful to watch. I mean, I think he's a better director than screenwriter, but I do think that he taps into the simplicity on in a way that gets it so that way audiences will watch his movies, whilst at the same time will simultaneously direct a movie in a way that feels so fresh. So I'm able to accept it. Like Avatar: The Way of Water from a screenplay perspective, yeah, it's simple, but the world building is something that makes it feel so special. And that's because of also the directing. Like there are so many scenes in The Way of Water where you're soaking in the environment. And some people might say, "Oh, it's not necessary." I would disagree. It's very necessary because it helps you get to know not only the world that these characters are exploring, but the characters and how they're interacting with it. And that's something James Cameron does a great job with. He does it in all of his movies, except Piranha 2. Godzilla, I love those 4K editions, both avatars. They look great in DV. I don't own the first Avatar in 4K. Sergey and I, we've actually talked about this. I think the first Avatar looks amazing on Blu-ray, and I love the packaging for the Blu-ray. So I haven't upgraded it, but it's good to hear that it looks great on 4K. I just don't think I'm going to upgrade though. On that note, Bootzilla says I still have the Blu-ray collector's edition Avatar and the 3D version. Yeah, that collector's edition, it's just so cool. I love it. And it also comes with 3 cuts. That's awesome.
That's why I haven't upgraded Alien to 4K because I really like the Alien collection packaging as well.
Yeah, because Alien I didn't have. I mean, actually no, I owned it on Blu-ray. When I upgraded it to 4K, I was like, I'll buy the single disc edition, but looks great on 4K, I will say. Godzilla, speaking of Nolan, did you see Matt Damon picture in The Odyssey? I did. Yeah, I'm excited for the movie. I'm very curious though how Nolan's going to direct it, to be honest. Andrew Lay, Cameron's dialogue and characters always lack nuance and seem to veer towards popcorn entertainment. They're definitely popcorn entertainment movies, but to be honest with you, that's part of the appeal for Cameron, at least for me, is that his movies are very entertaining. Like I can just put them on and just really enjoy them. And I will say there is some nuance with characters in like Titanic. I do think that there's some nuance in like someone like Rose or Jack. But other characters, yeah, there's not that much nuance, but that's fine. I think that the characters are still very much so entertaining.
Yeah.
And sometimes all you need is popcorn entertainment.
I mean, he's just fascinated by technology, and that's why all of his movies are about that and kind of pushing the boundaries of the, film with that. So,
And it is always fun watching his movies. Like watching Titanic, there are certain elements where it's like, oh, these are elements that we're going to see later on in his films, like his obsession with water. We saw that in Avatar: The Way of Water later on, or
I mean, we've seen that since Abyss, really.
yeah, I was going to say, and then The Abyss came before Titanic, but it's like that almost serves as a prelude to his obsession with, under the sea and everything. So,
I mean, he was a marine biologist before he was a filmmaker, so his passion is on display.
And that's why for 12 years we didn't see a movie from him, like between Titanic and Avatar, which is kind of insane to think about. That he made Titanic, and at the time it was the highest grossing film. And then it was like, you know what? 12 years later, I'm going to make another movie that costs a fortune. And guess what? I'm going to break that record that I set previously 12 years ago. Like, it's amazing.
Probably won't make any more movies after Avatar.
No. Which some people are frustrated by because they want to see other stuff from him. But, you know, something, he has so much passion for the Avatar films. I'm okay with him not doing other stuff because so far he's made 2 films that I think are very, very entertaining, that have really good world building. So I'm okay with that. E-Splits, I don't even understand the logic how Dexter Resurrection is going to work. In case other people haven't seen Dexter Original Sin yet, I'm not going to say how, but the first minute of that show, they do pretty much give you an idea on how Dexter Resurrection will work. We'll end on this note because I know it's getting late. We're heading to 2 hours. E-Splits, what show movie do you think has the best dialogue? Ooh, that's tough.
I've always liked House of Cards dialogue.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Obviously, the show went off the rails and I never actually finished it. But
yeah,
I really like the writing. Yeah. I mean, can't go wrong with Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones, of course, has some incredible dialogue.
Any scene
with very dialogue-driven show, oftentimes. So,
trying to think. Yeah, I might say Game of Thrones in terms of best dialogue, and then in terms of film, that's tough, man. I know most people might think I would say something like American Beauty, and I might, but There Will Be Blood and Social Network are up there in terms of screenplays, I think, in terms of dialogue. Like that snappy nature of the Social Network and American Beauty are things that I really gravitate towards. But then There Will Be Blood's screenplay, like the dialogue in that is just so rich with layers.
But I mean, Gary Glenn Ross, that was like the first thing that popped in mind. Is I love the writing in that.
Yeah, that's a great screenplay. Very accurate too, I must say. Unfortunately. But yeah, everyone, thank you for joining. Look forward to Sergey, myself, and of course Marv starting our top 100 movies that we'll be talking about. Eventually, Marv will be back on track so we can discuss 2001: A Space Odyssey. Stay tuned for that. And as always, I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you. Oh, before I say catch you guys later, be sure if you haven't done so already, go to Sergey's channel, subscribe to him. He is very close to 1,000 subscribers. I think, 20 more subscribers?
Something like that, yeah.
So all we need is 20 of you to go over there. Be sure to hit that subscription, notification bell, and Letterboxd too. He's got plenty of hot takes. And we
make sure to come at like 3 a.m. That's when they
usually when they come out. All right, we'll catch you guys later.
All right, later, guys.
Later.
Oh. Oh.
You didn't show the incredible action sequences.